So we're on our grid that we made in week 2, and we have a piece of tracing paper taped over top of it. So this grid we're going to use often, so we're not going to draw directly on top of it. We're going to draw this chair, and the measurements are given in inches, and these are both elevations. This is an elevation for the front, and this is an elevation for the side. So our chair is going to appear side first, facing us, and then we're going to put the front going toward the vanishing point. So to start, we're going to leave about 1 foot away from the wall. So that's our wall line. We're going to leave 1 foot. And then we're going to go over 21 inches. So every foot has 12 inches in it. So if I go over 1 foot, that's 12. And to make 21, another 9 inches. So every foot has 12 inches in it. If we divide that into 4 parts, 4 into 12 is 3 inches, so we'll divide it into 4. So we need to go 3/4 of a foot in, and we'll have the right amount. So this will give us 12, and 9 will give us 21 inches. Okay, so divide that second foot into 4 parts and use 3 of them, and that'll give us the width of our chair. But before we start thinking about anything else, we have to get some verticals up. So if we're talking about width, we are also needing to know about height. And our height here for the seat of our chair is 19 inches, about 19 inches. So we need to go up 12 is 1 foot, and 12 from 19 is 7. So half a foot, if we divide the next box in half, half a foot is 6 inches, and we need to go just a tad higher. So we've got 1 foot. Now, we had to walk this over to the wall to start measuring height. So I've walked this over to the wall. We've got 1 foot is 12 inches, and half the next foot is 6 inches, plus a little more is 7 inches. So 7 and 12 is 19, and we've got 19 inches for the height of the seat of the chair. Okay, so this is the height of the seat of the chair against the wall, and it's the same thing for the height of our seat of our chair out here, because we've walked the base of the chair over to the wall, measured on the wall, because it's the only measurement scheme we've got, and now we're going to bring it over. But we don't have any verticals, so that's a problem. We've got to get those up. So 1 foot in from the wall, we're going to draw a vertical for the seat of the chair, and keep on going, because it's also going to give us the back of our chair. And at the front, and put the front of our chair up. We don't know how far it's going to go up, so just put it up high. So now we have our 2 verticals for our height, but we've got the height of the seat. So let's bring that over. And the height of the back, we might as well do that now. It's about 40 inches. We'll say 40 inches. So we've got 12 and 12 is 24, another 12, another foot is 36, and so we need 4 more inches, and 4 into 12 goes 3 times. So divide this next foot up into 3, and you'll get, on the first third, you'll get the height of the back of the chair. So that's 12 in the first feet, 20 in the second foot, 36, and 4 more is 40. So we'll bring that over to our vertical. So you're getting the idea, hopefully, that everything that you need to measure, you have to bring it to the nearest wall using the place where it is standing on the floor. So it has to be directly across, because even here, 5 inches, 5 feet looks very different back here than it does here. So we have to obey our vanishing points. Okay, so we've got 40 inches here for the back of our chair. And we want to show a little thickness for this, but it's not just that thickness we need. We need the thickness for that curve. So we have to figure out what we're going to do here for that curve. We've got to give enough room. So let's leave about, let's see what this actually looks like. So we're going to be drawing a box here for that, and a box here to make up the back. So we need 18 inches at the front for the depth of the seat, or maybe, let's see, a little less. So we need about, say, 16 inches at the front here for the seat. Does everybody see? So we need about, say, 16 inches for this part. So we can use that down here. So we'll go, this we had 9 inches, and we need 7 more, so that would be half, and a little bit more. So, starting from the front again, we figure 16 inches for the depth of the seat of the chair before the back begins. So we've got 9 inches here. Remember, we divided this into 4, so 3, 6, 9. Then we have half a foot, which is another 6 inches, gives us 15. And then we have a little bit more, will give us 16. So it's from there that we'll go straight up. And in this box, we have to do a number of things. So we've got to divide it. We've got to divide it up so that we have the little leg at the back. That doesn't take up too much space. And then we've got room for the curve. That's going to take up maybe more space. So let's put these lines on so that we have them. This one, and this one. So I've got to put a line here. That's going to be for the back of the leg. So I might just put a titch at the bottom, because that's going to give me, this line gives me the back of the leg, doesn't it? So I'll just put a little titch for that. There, that's the back of the leg, right there. Then it also gives me a little bit where the seat is, but I've got where the seat is here. That's the seat here. I'm going to draw a line so I know that's the seat. Use your vanishing point now, because we're turning away. Every time you turn away, you use the vanishing point. So there's the vanishing point for the seat. That'll help to clarify things a little bit. It's always good as well to put your vanishing point on the overlay that you're working on, so that you can always go back and figure out how to replace this on your paper after you've left it for a while. Okay. So now all we have to do is make a mark for this. So I hope this isn't going to be too confusing, but we have to go from here and almost go straight and then start to curve. See where it's straight here? So let's bring this dot up after all. So this dot that we made for the leg at the bottom, bring that up to a little bit. Let's bring it up a little bit to here, say. And this is all approximate. Just bring it up to, say, here. And put another dot on the other side. The width of our chair is a little bit like this. So, if this is the width of the back of our chair, and we've got a little box here, we've got to do the same at the top. So I'm going to take this measure. Now, doesn't this chair look simple? But there's still so much to think about. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a mark here. So whatever width you've decided on for this, yeah, we have it here, then put that at the top. Because what we're going to do is take this and join it to that. And we're going to take this and join it to that. Now we've got kind of a disjointed affair there that's wider than the thickness of the legs, because our legs are just skinny. This now goes back like this. We're not going to worry about rounding it out at all. So I'll just do it over here on another paper. So we decided on a thickness back here, and then we divided it up for our little leg. Then we noticed that the back of the seat of the chair is a little wider than the legs. We had to make that a little wider. We had to escape that box and go a little wider. But this point where this is almost straight still lines up with the back of the seat, the back of the leg here. So we have this, and we made that a little wider, the back of the chair. Then we took this measure and brought it up here, and that made it easy for us to go from here to here and here to here. So you've got a little slant at the back now. The rest is easy. We just have to bring it this way. So let's measure that now. That is another 19 inches. Let's make the line first. Remember, you have to make the line or you won't know how to measure. Now, why am I torturing you with this? It'll make your life so much easier when I torture you later on, because you'll know a little about it. So this is 12, and we're looking for 19, right? So 2 from 9 is 7. So another box is 12 inches, but we only want half and a bit. Half and a bit. So that's going to give us the front of our chair. That's the front of our chair. And now what we have to do is just bring the seat across. This comes forward. Yeah, don't forget to do this. So it looks like a very, very simple chair, but when you start doing it and mapping it out so that what you do on one side you do on the other, it gets a little more interesting, doesn't it? So this box is now back there because I went from the front to the back, and this is the actual back we started with. So now I've got a little box back here, just like I have a little box here. And now I need this box. So I've got to bring this back. But remember that when we started with the overall width, and then we kept chopping parts off when we didn't need them. I need this at the back. Okay. Okay, so I've got this at the back, this at the top, and this at the top, and this will make the top here. Okay, so now I've got this corner. By taking this back, I know the width because of this, the depth, I know the depth, so I bring the depth up. Now I've got a box there and a box there. I just need to bring this across. And I'm almost done. I can just now start to pull it together. Fingers crossed. Okay, so now I have this line going back, and it's crossing the back there. So what you're doing is making the same diagram you have at the front. You're just making it at the back now, so that you can carry the same points back. So I've got this now, and this now, and I just have to join this to this. You could always just take a stab at it and eyeball it too. That's the other way to do it. But to do it correctly, you have to bring the box that you have at the front, including all those lines. See, what it is that you've created all these boxes, and you're taking this point to this point to this point. So you need a little box here. It was complicated because this went outside our box. This, now we know how the leg looks. It's going to look like that in our box. So it looks complicated, but it's really, well, it's a little complicated. So on this box that I first started with, I had to create many more boxes. I had to create one for the slant at the back is made up of a box like this, so that I could slant from the front, and it's even a little bigger because I have to get that in, so that I could slant from there to there, because I took this measure and I brought it up here. So I have to make this whole diagram at the back. I have to transfer it and make it at the back. Or you could eyeball it. You could say, this is that angle, I'm going to make this the same, and you'd be done. But by going through the steps, then if it's a final drawing, you wouldn't want to risk it. You'd want to go through the steps. And in going through the steps, I'm showing you what's involved in drawing a more finished drawing. But let's proceed now. Wherever you are with this, let's go in, and if you have a piece of marker paper, we can put this over top, and we'd be able to draw our chair the way it should look. Or you can put another piece of tracing paper. That would be fine too. And we'll just go in and put our finishing touches. So this is a box form drawing, a simple box form drawing. And over top, we're going to do a refined drawing. We're just going to sketch though. So the shape at the top here is round. You can see it's round, but it dips in a little bit. So the top part that we're seeing here, it's actually got two parts. There's a low part for this and a high part for that. So we're seeing the high part. There's also a lower part. So we've got to indicate that here. So we've got a low part, and then it swoops up, and it's below eye level, quite a bit below eye level. So we're going to see some, and then we won't see any more. We'll just see like that. So that's what the top looks like. Then we've got that lovely curve. It's a curve, not an angle the way we have it. So we've got to make a lovely curve. And it'll curve on the front too, so we've got to do that at the same time. Best to do both sides at the same time. And then we've got this part. And the seed is nice and poofy, so we want to make a nice poofy seed. This will go in and poof. And we've got a thickness for the upholstery. It doesn't look like, now this is going with the vanishing point, so you go up like that. And then the legs. The leg has a bit of a curve to it, so we've got to register that a little bit. Now, the front legs are a little bit more complicated. They have two sides. They have a square on the front and a square on the side, on both sides and the back, really. It's a little cube. So we've got to show a little square here and a little square there. Do the same thing at the back. There's a square facing this way and a square facing that way. Then we've got a little curve. Then we've got that nice, best to make this, I think we should put this in. This is our, and you know, it's funny, but this is only on the front, only on the two sides. It doesn't appear on the, oops, I don't think I brought my leg down far enough, did I? Oh, that's the front. It doesn't appear on the front or the back. These are our little squares. Everywhere you have a little square, you do that. I've got little bally things on the bottom. It was just easier to do the top parts before you do the wiggle in between. And if we were doing this with all seriousness and really taking our time, we would draw boxes with our vanishing point for this, because these are looking a little gnarly. And then you'd see a bit of the back of the chair here. And of course, usually when you're doing this, you would draw this in pencil very carefully, and then you would ink it in after which is probably what I should have done too. That way you can think about what lines you're going to put in as solid and what ones you're going to make a little more refined. And then you could go in with a thicker pen and do your outside lines, make them thicker. And leave your inside lines thinner. So something that would be great to practice is taking simple boxes and transferring them from one side of what it is you're drawing to the back. So something like that wouldn't seem so complicated. It would begin to be easy for you. Now let's look at our figure. Now we've decided he's 6 feet. So we put a line for the top of his head and a line at the heel, at his heel. And we're going to move him around and see. We have to line up his 6 feet with the wall. So I'm going to start at the front, and I'm going to take the line over, and I'll go up the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I bring his line over, he only measures 4 feet and 2/3 inches, but I want it to be 6 feet. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to push him back another foot, and I'm going to walk him to the wall. Remember when we started, we walked this over to the wall and went up? So I'm going to walk this over to the wall. Now that I'm 1 foot in, and I'm going to go up to this line, and now he's 5.5 feet. We're getting there. That's closer. Now I'm going to walk him back a little further and walk him over to the wall and go up. I'm 1/2 foot back now, and he's pretty close. I can take him a little bit further, and that will probably get me at 6 feet. So I go over to the wall, go up the wall, and here, he's now exactly 6 feet if I leave him in this spot. So this looks pretty good now. He looks like he could sit down in our chair and enjoy that. It would be fine for him. He wouldn't be uncomfortable. Not too tall, not too short. He's just about right for his knees, for the back of his knees to fit with our chair. So he's just standing across from our chair. So that's how you place your figure in and how you move something like this, make it work. And we could put him on here. We could see that would be where. And then you see you would put another piece of marker paper over top, and you would draw both of them again. You'd always remember always to include your vanishing point and the lines of your walls. So we should put those in as well. That way you can always register your drawing again once you have these lined up.